What's the other vehicle?
Dodge Durango.
Two Durangos?
No, one's a Toyota Sequoia.
All right, so she's in the Sequoia?
She's in the Sequoia with my daughter, not hers.
Right from the start, this courtroom is already off balance. Lost files, rescheduled trials, and now a domestic assault case takes the spotlight. Robert Baird stands accused in a tense situation involving his child's mother. But as details unfold, this story gets messy fast. Subscribe now for more intense courtroom drama breakdowns.
Jordan, I've got to reset that other trial of yours. I'll probably put these on the same day. I lost Mr. Baird's file.
So if we have a jury trial scheduled in April, it's not going?
Well, potentially. I said we could use April 8th. So if you have an April 8th date.
Well, just because I have two set with Judge Pattison on the 15th.
I can't speak for Judge Pattison.
Right.
They're gonna dismantle my courtroom that week, the week of April 15th. I hate to lose those dates. I hated to lose the 2 March dates. We probably would have tried one of your cases if I hadn't had to.
I think mine was the oldest in time, so yeah. I did just get the digital evidence from the prosecutor, Your Honor, for Mr. Love's case.
Very good. All right, this is file number 26104, People versus Robert Baird. That's you, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're charged with a domestic assault upon Grace Shaw that is alleged to have occurred in my neighborhood in Park Township on January 22nd. I met you at your arraignment and your earlier pretrial. You had pled not guilty. Matter was set for final pretrial today. Ms. Stoll, what's the status here?
The offer is a DV deferral.
My client is willing to accept that offer today, Your Honor.
Very good. Let's explain what that means. I think your lawyer did explain it, but DV stands for domestic violence or domestic assault. There's a specific statute that allows the court to place the defendant on probation and defer the sentence if the defendant successfully completes the probation. The charge is removed from your record as a public record of conviction. You only get the deal once. So if you've ever had a previous domestic violence, you're not eligible. I also can only do it if the prosecutor consents. In these types of probations, I need the prosecutor's consent to do it. So what that entails is a probation that involves no assaultive or threatening behavior, no drugs, no alcohol, on completion of a domestic violence class. The law also requires that I adjourn this matter for at least 10 days to give the victim an opportunity to provide input, unless Grace Shaw is here now. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, anybody threaten you to get you to do this?
No, it's having issues being able to see my boy.
Yes,
so I'd like this all to be behind us faster.
Yes, there is that. You heard me go through the advice of rights with Mr. Krotzer. You understand you have those same rights?
Yes, sir.
Giving those up by entering this plea?
Absolutely.
All right. At one point, did you have a relationship with Grace Shaw?
Yes.
And you and she have a child together?
Yes, one.
How old's the child?
He'll be 2 in April.
Yeah, you're losing crucial time. So did you get into an argument that day out on Michigan Avenue?
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
It was the day I picked up my daughter from have a different mother with her. Grace said she put the Durango in a ditch, and I didn't answer her phone call. So when I tried to return her call, she didn't answer. So I loaded up my daughter and went looking for her. Went to her house, she wasn't there. Drove through Portage looking at every place she might be. Wasn't there. Went back to her house, she was. So I went inside and I said, what the heck? Why won't you answer your phone? I want to make sure you're okay. That led into me asking if my boy was okay. Led into an argument because I was asking her if the car was damaged, where it happened, how it happened. She refused to tell me.
So she called you first?
Called me when I believe she put the car in a ditch.
Okay, and said, hey, I put the car in a ditch?
No, I didn't answer. My phone was on silent.
Or how'd you know she put the car in the ditch?
She texted me,
Okay,
went in the ditch, put the thumbs up. After the phone calls.
and it was cold on and snowy out at that time.
Yeah, she slid off of one of her clients' driveways.
All right, well, that could be worse. Um,
And I didn't know any of those details when I was looking for it. All I know is she went silent, so I went looking.
all right, so then what happened?
Then it started to get heated because she wouldn't answer my question. So I grabbed the keys and I go, "You're not responsible enough to drive my car. I'm going to take it." I took the keys, took her keys off of it, tossed it, went out to the garage, pulled the Durango out of the garage, backed it out into a turnaround. And when I got it to the turnaround, I looked up and she had hopped in my other vehicle with my daughter, locked the doors. She then put the vehicle in drive, came towards the Durango. I got out, went towards the vehicle. She then put it in reverse, like she was going towards the road. She says she was trying to get away from me.
And all this time is about 4 degrees outside?
I don't know what time. It was real cold that day.
Yes.
Yeah, so I went to the vehicle. I had my spare keys on me. I was able to get them in the door.
What's the other vehicle?
Dodge Durango.
2 Durangos?
No, one's a Toyota Sequoia.
All right, so she's in the Sequoia?
She's in a Sequoia with
Okay.
my daughter, not hers. Backing up. So I approached the vehicle, put my key in there. I unlocked the door. They opened the door. It's still in motion. So I reached in, pinched her on the hip to get her to stop, to release pressure, and then hopped in the vehicle, put my foot on the brake, put the vehicle in park, shut it off, grabbed her shoulder, tried to pull her out. And when I couldn't get her out, I reached in my pocket for my phone to try to record. She grabbed my phone, ripped it out of my hand, threw it, and then socked me in the face.
And worse.
And yeah.
Well, this is embarrassing to even hear you even say all that. But I'm satisfied there's a sufficient factual basis for a domestic assault. Ms. Stoll, are you satisfied?
That's a sufficient factual basis, Your Honor.
Ms. Harden,
Yes, Your Honor.
have you ever been convicted of a domestic assault previously?
Never been in trouble.
That's what I thought. You're not on probation or parole.
No.
You guys got to get it together for your son, because this ain't good.
This is where the story turns chaotic. Baird admits to physically intervening while the vehicle was moving, claiming he pinched her and tried to take control. That alone raises serious legal concerns. The judge clearly sees this as escalating behavior. Do you think this crossed the line into domestic assault?
You're stuck with each other for the next 16 years. Then there was an allegation of some bond violations later on. I don't even know what the status of those are.
I had not heard of anything, Your Honor.
That was dated Thursday, February 5th. Troopers were dispatched regarding a harassment complaint, a telephone call conducted with Grace Shaw. She reported her ex-boyfriend, Robert Baird, has been harassing her during FaceTime calls that are intended solely for communication with their child.
Our initial pretrial was on February 6th, and I didn't have that information, so I'm not sure.
Well, there's no motion or anything, but it ain't good. Oh, they submitted it.
I did not get a copy of it.
45th Circuit Court. Trooper. I don't know. It just got stuck in the file. It wasn't. Anyway, you need to align your waterfall. You're going to end up having all kinds of problems. Where do you work?
Midwest Gutter Systems.
You're about to get real busy.
Yeah, we got a home show next weekend.
Will they hold your job for you if you do 90 days in jail?
I doubt it.
Yeah,
Salesman.
then don't violate the conditions of the bond. Let's see, Jordan, what I've got for you. I don't want to stretch this out because he'd like to reestablish contact.
I know they have a domestic case that was established prior to this, so not sure.
Do you have a lawyer in a divorce case?
We were
Oh, you don't
never
have a
married.
divorce case, I got
No,
custody.
family, yeah, Gurgley.
All right, Rhonda Ives.
Brockway is his name.
Okay. Jordan, I don't see you on here anywhere.
I don't have anything in March other than Monday. To expedite this, I am out the week of the 16th. But I'd be happy to come in on an off day next week, or I would even come in Monday, the 23rd, if that worked for the court.
All right, let's go to March 23rd at 10:30. The sentencing. What I expect is going to happen at that time is I'm going to put you on a probation and send you to some either anger management or domestic violence classes. Once I get everybody in the same room and hear more, I can decide you got this custody, child support, visitation deal going on. But when your child is 2, every day is a blessing. And I guess when they're 42, it still is, but they need to have constant contact to maintain that relationship. But this ain't good. It was like reading a couple middle schoolers fighting with each other. And let's see where we go with this. But at this point, I fully expect to follow the prosecutor's recommendation and do the domestic violence deferral. But I don't want to hear any more bond violation stuff, or there could be a different consequence. All right, Mr. Baird. 323 at 10:30. Are you still at the
Reside in Vicksburg, Your Honor.
you got his address?
That's right.
I didn't give him a notice. I'll rely on you to give him one.
We'll do that.
All right, you're good to go. We've got one more Jordan case, Tim, and then we'll deal with your matters. Miss Stratton is here. Derek Ezel.
By the end, the judge sends a strong warning. This behavior must stop, or consequences will escalate fast. With probation, strict conditions, and custody implications hanging over him, Baird's future depends on his next moves. One wrong step could cost everything. Like, comment, and subscribe for more shocking courtroom stories.